Hi guys, I'm Mike and this is F1 Fanatics. Hi guys and welcome back to another F1 weekly news show. Sorry if my voice is a little bit croaky this week. I am recovering from a cold, but the show must go on, as we say, and the F1 weekly news show will still carry on. Been a little bit quieter news in week in the news this week in F1. The only major one was a story reported in the German media. So we will get straight into that story, guys, and that is the story that Ferrari had parts seized by the FIA post-race in Brazil. It was that they had parts taken from their engine in regards to the fuel flow meter. A Ferrari partner team or a kind of customer team has engine parts taken and a non-Ferrari engine taken, and so an investigation was in. Obviously, this is still linked in regards to Cheatgate, as it may be called, as Max Verstappen and Red Bull accused Ferrari of cheating, and the investigation into their engine continues, but nothing official has come out from that, other than a third directive in as many weeks from the FIA has come out in terms of there will be an extra fuel sensor in the 2020 cars, as they are taking this fuel very seriously in terms of that. So yeah, very interesting from there. Obviously reported in a lot of outlets, but originated from the German media. They're unconfirmed as of yet, and obviously nothing has come of it, but we'll certainly keep you up to date. It's certainly one to keep hold of. I think if the parts have been seized, it is very clear that now it will either come out that something has been going wrong and they have been doing something a little bit dodgy, or Ferrari's name will be cleared and their engine is just better than both, obviously, the Honda engine and the Mercedes engine. Sticking with Ferrari, both drivers were called to Maranello over the clash that they had at the weekend. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk this week in medias in terms of the Vettel and Leclerc clash coming to a climax, and obviously with their collision, I think this incident is blown out proportion. There was certainly the same defensive move made by a lot of drivers within the race as well. It was an unfortunate kind of love tap, if you might call it, on the wheel that had very severe consequences. I think Leclerc and Vettel actually get on very well. They are two Alpha drivers, not Alfa Romeo drivers, but Alpha in terms of leader drivers within a team, and so there will be clashes within that aspect, but in regards to that, I think they do generally get on pretty well, and I don't think this is really going to be really too much of an issue. I think I've said it a few times this week in kind of tweets that I believe Ferrari's ideal situation will be that Sebastian Vettel will have one more year at Ferrari. They will give everything to Sebastian Vettel as him as the number one driver, and Leclerc will accept being a support driver role next year. Whether he wins or isn't successful next year, Sebastian Vettel will leave at the end going into the 2021 regulations. Leclerc will then become the clear number one at Ferrari, and a number two driver will come in to support him, and that will be the end of it before the kind of relationship really gets out of hand. I believe that's something that probably both drivers will be on board with, and Vettel seems a fair man, and if they give him one last fair shot at the title, then it really is within his own hands whether he can achieve that success or not. Moving away from Ferrari and to a driver who won't be with a seat, it looks like, in 2020 in Formula 1 is Nico Hülkenberg, but he has come out this week saying that it doesn't feel like he's leaving F1, so that generally tends to feel that he probably might, I don't know, compete in DTM next year, with the idea of negotiating a contract with someone for 2021, and I think, as obviously a lot of drivers had lineups confirmed before the news about Hülkenberg came out, he will certainly be someone that people would seriously consider in 2021, and it will be interesting to see whether he regains a seat back in 2021. But that was his thoughts on the matter. Moving on, sticking with the Renault theme, and it is the man who is replacing him, and that is Esteban Ocon, and he has been released by Mercedes from his contract early, the day after the season ends, so the 2nd of December, so that he can take part in testing at Abu Dhabi for Renault. Probably not a surprising thing. Toto Wolff is quite fond of Esteban Ocon and wouldn't do anything necessary to hinder his career, so it seems a relatively smart move. They kept hold of him on to the end, but now Esteban Ocon, as soon as the season ends, he can start his journey with Renault and getting used to the car, the team, and working everything within that. And the last news story for today, guys, so really sorry about my voice in this, it is struggling to keep going, but it is getting there, is from Pirelli themselves. They are confident that after the Abu Dhabi test with the 2020 tyres, that the teams will go forward with those tyres. Obviously, after the Austin test that they had, a lot of complaints from the drivers and the teams about the quality of the tyres and wanting to kind of stick with the 2019 tyres going into the 2020 season. But Pirelli are confident that they will go for the new compound that they've designed for the new season, and yes, will be interesting to see whether that plays out. Obviously, they may still be a good tyre, but it could also be part of the fact with teams and drivers going, well, I've spent a whole year getting used to these tyres in 2019. They now have a really good understanding, or at least they have a hell of a lot of data on how those tyres perform and how best to get performance out of them, that probably keeping them going into 2020 would be favourable for a lot. I mean, you even saw during this season, with Ferrari obviously wanting the 2018 Pirelli tyres to come back, because obviously it suited them. So obviously teams' personal interest will always kind of come out in this situation. But there you go, guys, that is the F1 Weekly News. I think I've covered everything for this week, so comment down below on your thoughts on the story. Do you believe that Ferrari's parts have been seized? What do you think will be the outcome of that? Do you think the driver clash between Vettel and Leclerc is a big deal, or do you think it's just one of those things that happens when you have two top drivers within your team? Hulkenberg, do you agree with him that it doesn't feel like he's leaving F1 and that he will be snapped up in 2021 by someone? And that's probably it. And do you think the teams will accept Pirelli's 2020 tyres? But guys, if you've liked this video, don't forget, give it a thumbs up. Let us know that you've liked it, and if you are new around here and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do click that subscribe button and click the bell notification. You can keep up to date with all our latest content and watch more videos just like this one. But for now, you F1 fans, keep racing.